All right, red light, we are live. Welcome to episode 77 of the Section 247 show. I am Michael Lipinski, joined as always by Michael Watkins. And what have you been doing here, Michael? You getting into some old TV?
I'm getting into a lot of stuff, man. First of all, I don't understand. I see that there's a lot of people that are bored. I mean, my day is filled. I'm still working nonstop, actually more than I was before all this came on. But then when I'm not working, I'm always like reorganizing or straightening something. Like over the weekend, I was straightening up some of my old collection of DVDs and found, oh, look at that. And
You're pulling a Lipinski there.
Found a little bit of like that right there. It's Nick and Jessica DVDs that my wife and I mowed through.
I don't know what to make of this.
And watched them all. It was great. Blast from the past. Man, editing is bad. What is up, Will, on Facebook. And I also found this because I was straightening my closet. I lost a little bit of weight, so I was able to get rid of some of the fat boy clothes. I found this little gem. I don't know if anybody could see that playing at home, but this is a North Carolina t-shirt that I used to wear under my hockey gear, no matter what. And as you can see, it's not really a shirt anymore. It was holes in it, and it's still in my closet for some reason. I haven't played like serious hockey in 20 years. So, thanks for coming.
Why don't you just throw that out? Are you a hoarder?
No, I'm not. I saved it because it was like a good luck thing. I always wore it under my hockey gear, so I never got rid of it. I have a Dirty Dick shirt. Remember those? The Dirty Dick's Crabs.
Oh yeah.
I have one of those too. I used to wear underneath my baseball equipment. So I'm not a hoarder. I just save stupid stuff.
I'm the same way. And there's people that'll probably comment in. You go in my mother's house, you go in the garage, and it's out of control. Not all me, but so
Yeah, you do watch 16 and Pregnant.
I watch 16 and Pregnant, and I watch Teen Mom. Although I haven't watched Teen Mom in a couple seasons, I got to catch up on that.
You don't probably have the DVDs of 16 and Pregnant, though. Anybody want to screenshot that and send it off to Nick? Because this was my first little man crush here. This is my first little...
Me personally, no, but, my wife does. I know that's yours and not your wife.
Yeah, I mean, I could care less about Jessica Simpson, although, how you doing? Thanks for coming again.
Ooh,
but
that's... Man.
What are you drinking?
We got some Cape May Devil's Reach.
That's a strong one.
We're going to slow that down right there because otherwise we might have a little bit of a problem.
So I actually partaked in some home delivery brought to you by Double Nickel this week.
Not a sponsor, but tell us.
Not a sponsor, but they were absolutely nice. So they were only delivering to Camden County and Burlington County. I live in Gloucester County. So I emailed them, asked them, and said, hey, look, this was what I would want. Here's my address. Will you still deliver it to me? And literally, they said, call and place the order before noon. We'll have it to you before 3. It was an absolutely crappy day out. I think it was Tuesday. And they had it. And they gave me this little glass with it. So, shout out to Double Nickel.
Listen, in this time that we're living in, unfortunately, you have to support your local businesses and they have to support you back. So that's good.
Beautiful
good on
can. It's like a denim jean with a Canadian leaf on it. I mean,
it is good. Beautiful. So what is that beer like?
It's good. It's the maple. It's called the Maple Shop, and it's bourbon barrel aged brown ale with some maple syrup in it, and it's good. You can smell the bourbon. It's a little sweet. It's one of those. It's a nice dessert beer, but then they have another one that I got too. It's called Nocturnal Creatures. It's a strong chocolate. It's just they preface it by saying it's like an Italian dessert, and indeed it is. It is a delightful treat. And Nick and Jessica was the best show, and Zach Spears' birthday. So happy birthday, Zach Spears.
It is a happy birthday to a friend of the show, Zach Spears, and we are glad that he is celebrating his birthday and enjoying himself as he is one of the essential workers in the United States of America, keeping the world going, one piece of laminate at a time.
And my wife just jumped in, so thank you. She's not asleep yet. I just talked about Nick and Jessica, so she missed that. We started watching The Tiger King tonight.
Yeah, so talk to me about the Tiger King. Before we get into sports and before we get into the rundown, we're going to talk Eagles. We got a lot going on there. Tom Brady would be opening day. But this Tiger King thing has been taking off. People have been posting it on Facebook. 1980s WWF, but apparently not.
So the Tiger King, I'm only one episode in. I've stayed away from all the comments of people talking about it because I wanted to watch it for myself, but it is out there. They just pretty much did a whole, and my wife even said, she goes, I don't know if I'm really getting into everybody what they said, but it's the introductory episode where they show you who everybody is and what they do and how they got to where they are, and then the next episode looks like it picks up a little bit. So
yeah, but what is it like? What is it?
It's basically they're following around this guy that has an exotic zoo. His name's Joe Exotic, and he wants to. He is against the animal rights people, of course. And there's one lady that he particularly does not like, named Carol Baskins, and it ends. He is in jail, so it's not a spoiler. He is in jail. They from the beginning, from the jump, he's in jail for hiring to kill her. And we just got to the point where it goes to present time, and he's making that collect call from jail, a la the making a murderer. So
yeah,
should be interesting. By next week, I'll probably have it all done.
That's one I haven't seen either, Making a Murderer. I guess I should get to that. Like we were discussing off the air, though, when you have kids, one kid, two kids, it's hard to watch these kind of things, and Bubble Guppies and Peppa Pig kind of take over, and that's okay because we're adults. We're allowed to watch things like that.
So that's why we had to break out. We had to dust off the DVD player and put in Nick and Jessica just so we can have something on in the background that we can watch that wasn't his stuff, because we try to limit what he watches and when. But we we get into it. We have like a mini dance party with some of the songs that he does. Like, what's that? Johnny Papa. No what? Papa. Yes, Papa. Ha, ha,
what the hell are you talking about?
Feeding stray cats? No, Papa. Are you sure? No,
what
Papa.
show is this?
It's a song. It's like one of the Baby First channel.
Oh, okay. So that's your problem there. I mean, we're going off the rails here. Will, chime in. Favorite Paw Patrol character? I'm personally a Rubble guy. I think my dog would be very upset if I said that, but it's true.
So Paw Patrol, he's not really old enough yet. I'm sure that's coming soon, though.
Oh, you have no idea.
I've watched a couple episodes. He likes right now, besides Baby First channel, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and then the Mickey Mouse Roadster.
Yes, I'm a fan of that show. I am.
He's got a little couch that he climbs on and throws nonstop.
So let's give it a little rundown on the show here tonight. The Philadelphia Eagles making some serious moves in NFL free agency and the trade market. The title of this episode, you say goodbye, we slay hello. Play on words there. We're going to discuss I thought so. I thought it was good. We're going to discuss what the Birds are doing. Moves around the National Football League. Tom Brady on the move. Cam Newton cut. PJ Walker, no longer an XFL player, going on. The NBA rumbles and rumors of a startup date again. Hockey would probably not be far behind. We're going to talk that. How you're doing, considering what's going on right now. And it was 19 years ago, Monday, Michael, was the final edition of WCW Monday Nitro, and it was the end of an era. We are going to be talking at the tail end of this thing some pro wrestling and memories of WCW. Judy Bagwell in a pole match. I'm going to take that one out right now. Thunderdome Steel Cage, that kind of thing. Why don't you tell the people how they can find us?
You can find us on the Section 247 show on either Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. What you have to do is, please, we like it that you like and share the show, and we want you to talk to us during the show, just like Zach's saying, what's up? So what's up, Zach? Happy birthday. But we can only see Zach's comment or even mine that I just said, Nick and Jessica rules, if you are either in the Section 247 show feed for either YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. So again, like and share all you want, please. But if you're going to talk to us and we want you to talk to us, please be in the show feed so we can see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's in the show feed. Where can you follow us? Did you tell people where they can follow us? Section
247 show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch.
And Twitch. Facebook, Twitter now as well, at SEC247 show. And
Twitter doesn't have the actual live feed as it goes. Did it fix? Did it finally fix?
I don't know. It's on somewhere. It's there. We had a lot of viewers on that last week, and we appreciate that. It might be on mine, which is at doc_section 247 show, we got to figure that out. I have a problem with Facebook for not porting over all of our followers from the old Section 247 pod, but we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out as it goes.
Best bet is to go Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch.
Absolutely. Will chimes in here. PJ Walker, great jobber. I don't, PJ Walker. I mean, am I missing something, Will? Because, I'm the wrestling savant here, and I don't remember a PJ Walker. I remember a PJ.
Just saying that PJ Walker is
a great name.
Great jobber yeah.
It's a great name. I mean, I am a wrestling savant, and I remember useless wrestling knowledge. PJ Polacco, he's incredible. Pun intended. But let's get into it here, Michael. We're going to talk some Philadelphia Eagles. Malcolm Jenkins, as we all assumed, he was going to move on. The Eagles made it official. What are your thoughts on Malcolm Jenkins moving on from the Philadelphia Eagles? Are you surprised? Did you figure that this was going to happen? Go ahead, sir.
I am a little surprised. I thought maybe that there was going to be a chance that he might resign. I don't think it's a good move. I kind of would like him back there. And as you can see, he went to New Orleans for not all that much money. He went for a bit, but I mean, his age is a factor in that deal.
Yep.
Without a doubt, but it's in essence a 4-year deal. It's actually a 2-year deal. Let's keep it real here. So pretty much after 2 years, he's going to retire anyway. I would like to have him around. I think it was important to have him around, especially after how we saw how Dawkins left. Yeah, he left a little bit better on better terms. Didn't thank Howie on the way out. Thanked everybody else but Howie. That seemed a little weird. But overall, hey, look, we talked about this many times that Super Bowl team was great. Can't keep everybody. Thank you for your service as everybody leaves. This is probably the one guy I might have kept around until he wore out his welcome.
See, I wonder, did he wear out his welcome? There was a lot of conversation on some of the Facebook groups that Malcolm Jenkins seriously lost. And it's a debate. Was it a role? Was it a role switch? Was it because he was now forced to play a different position? Or is it true that he just lost a step? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. He's going to go to a really good team in New Orleans. So he's going to probably stay in that Super Bowl caliber team, which is always good because Drew Brees elected to stay in for 2 more years, I think, Drew Brees.
Yep.
And hey, look, for him, that's good that he was able to stay with the 2 teams his whole career and not bounce around. So congrats to him. But it's definitely going to be a difference in the secondary with having Jalen Mills now moving to safety rather than having Malcolm Jenkins, who was very durable, played every snap, perennial Pro Bowler versus Jalen Mills, who for the past couple seasons hasn't really been on the field because he's been hurt.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're putting all their eggs in the Jalen Mills basket there as a deep guy. I wondered if there was going to be some other moves coming that way. It seems as though no, not necessarily. Not there was. We're going to get to those in a second, but I thought maybe there was going to be some other moves at safety, and it doesn't seem like the Eagles are going to go that way. They're going to roll with kind of what they have right now.
And Zach chimed in saying, he was the leader and the move was basically, it's got to be Carson's team fully. In football, I do believe that there is a very definitive leader on both sides of the ball. And I think that the leadership realm with having Jason Peters gone, you keep your Malcolm Jenkins on the defensive side of the ball, and then you would have, Carson Wentz on the offensive side of the ball and a good definitive leader of the team. So I think the leadership role could definitely go enough to go around.
You brought up a name there, and let's jump on it real quick. Jason Peters has not signed anywhere. Not necessarily a surprise that he hasn't signed anywhere, but is he getting to the point now where he might slide back to the Philadelphia Eagles?
I definitely think it's possible. I always thought it was possible. I think he wanted to test the market to see what was out there. It was like one of those, go test the market, see what's out there. I'll come back, if I could talk right, come back to us. We'll see if we can either match or better it so we can take care of you. But I think it's written right there that he won't be the starter if he does come back because they want to move on with Dillard.
And they should. I mean, you're not going to waste the pick on him. We've talked about this in past weeks. You don't waste a pick there and don't expect him to play. The rumors of him leaving seem to be kind of way blown out of proportion. it's a great deal if you can get him back on the cheap.
I mean, look, bring him back for a year. Aguilar signed that prove it deal for $910,000 minimum, basically. So I mean, you got to bring
Yeah,
Peters back for a couple million, but you know
how
what I
about
mean.
that? How about that? Is that a little bit of a surprise to you or no?
I think that is a great move for him. That is a great move for him. It's a team that has a lot to prove. Even the Super Bowl winning coach has a lot to prove. The quarterback has a lot to prove. The backup quarterback has a lot to prove. And why not Nelson Aguilar in there? I think that's a great move for him. I think that's a team that might be a little bit of a dark horse going into next season if we ever play it.
Yeah, the Raiders, the Vegas Raiders, I got to get used to that. It is going to be certainly something a little bit interesting there. Hey, look, it's going to be if we play it. I mean, I guess that's really what it comes down to.
I mean, we're going to play it. It's just
we're going to get
I think yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit, where the sports world is going and whatnot, as there have been some discussions amongst the major sports on tentative returns. However, this thing plays out. The bigger news after Malcolm Jenkins was Darius Slay is an Eagle, and I was surprised at first, and then the more and more I thought about it. They've been chasing this guy for a while. They were rumored to be tied to him a year ago. All the sense in the world. And I got like it.
Oh, it's a great move. It's a great move. When you look at Byron Jones signing with Miami, which is, an unproven corner that has, what was it? Is it 2 interceptions he had? He's
I
had in his
believe
career or something like that?
It was some weird stat like that.
And sign for that much money, then you were able to trade, not give up that much, but draft picks, and re-sign him for a very cheap deal. It's best move all offseason for any NFL team, except for maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, whoa. Hey, let's not jump forward there. We are going to get to that in a second. I agree with you. I really like the move, and I'd like to move even more, considering that he signed, obviously, a very Eagles-friendly deal. When you compare it to that other deal with Byron Jones, it's believably good for the Eagles. And you needed that help in the secondary, especially on the corners. I like it a lot. There are people that are really crapping on it, but I don't know if they're crapping on it just because or they really hate it.
Do you think people are crapping on it because of the whole, Asamoah, Byron Maxwell, the Eagles corners that have signed in the past that were, big name corners, and they're worried about that disappointment?
Yeah, I would have to think so, but the Eagles share of big play corners in this Philadelphia, and it's worked out okay.
I've read a lot of the Lions fans' comments on the Detroit Lions Twitter page after they announced the trade, and they're glad he's gone.
I had tweeted out at SEC 247 show at the time, and it still is. I asked some Lions fans for some feedback on it, and some were same thing you were just saying. They're glad that he's gone, and others said, you just got the best cornerback in the National Football League, which is the general consensus.
Yeah, he literally, one of his, and I like how he just is coming out and saying, watch game film, watch, see what I did. Because all you heard with a lot of comments was, Devontae Adams chewed him up and spit him out. Michael Thomas chewed him up and spit him out. And then he comes out and says, watch the game film.
And we can all watch the game film because NFL Film Pass is free during the pandemic.
What do you think about the number he chose?
Look, a lot of guys are going to do the whole Kobe Bryant thing. Whatever. I don't care.
You got to live up to it. You want to, you make a statement like that, you pick that number and came out with a statement, you better live up to it.
Well, yeah. Now, in my mind, Kobe Bryant's a basketball player, and I understand that he transcended sports before people give him crap. But who's the last Eagle to wear number 24? I don't even know. You're tilting sideways. You're right.
I know I am. I'm doing something on my computer. Sorry.
We are live, mind you.
I know. Sorry. I have actually, there's something underneath it that's making the computer tilted even more. So I got it. I'm good now. Who's the last Eagle over 24? Good question. It's got to be. Was it? Was it
I mean,
Ryan Matthews?
I don't know. There might be someone wearing it right now. It might be. I don't know. So to me, it's the number is the number. I don't see how the guy comes out and plays. I want to see him come out and play like number 21 from 20, 30 years ago.
How's he not in the Hall of Fame, man?
That's a discussion for another day, as we have nothing to talk about as we lead up to the NFL draft. Although I will tell you, the NFL has done it. The draft is on as scheduled right now, which is a beautiful thing. And I appreciate
Corey Graham. Good call on that one.
Oh, Corey Graham. Yeah, you're correct. Okay, good. Thank you, Zach. Yeah, we appreciate that. Look, Darius Slay is a great move. I really like the moves that the Eagles have made. It's going to be interesting here to see what they do. Malcolm Jenkins is still sitting in technically speaking, in midnight green. I have a feeling that he is going to be hanging around.
What? Malcolm Jenkins?
No, sorry, not Malcolm Jenkins. Jesus Christ, the wide receiver, Alshon Jeffrey. Sorry.
Yeah, he's staying. He's not going anywhere.
Alshon Jeffrey is going to be here, and people are not.
Oh, Jordan Howard wore 28. How about that? Look at that.
People are not going to. Your take on Alshon staying an Eagle?
Well, I heard Howie's comments with Dave Spadaro today, and saying that he expects, Alshon wants to win here. Alshon, is wants to win another championship in Philadelphia. He loves Philadelphia. Show me.
Yeah, show me. Keep your mouth shut. Stop talking to Josina Anderson. It may or may not be you. Chances are it probably is you. I see, when things line up that way, you have to put it all together. Look, it's thank you. Appreciate everything you did for the Eagles in the Super Bowl run, but he hasn't been productive.
No, well, I mean, except for the Super Bowl year, he's dropped a lot of balls. Giggity. But maybe this is going to be the Alshon Jeffrey goodwill comeback tour this coming season.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
let's dial it back to Super Bowl season. Let's go back to that for a second. And he was extremely successful. Why was he extremely successful? Nelson Aguilar performed well. Zach Ertz performed well. Well, last year, except for Zach Ertz, nobody really performed well at all. He got hurt, unfortunately. Maybe Deshaun Jackson comes back and is strong.
That's true. Checking in on the book here. Adam Rush asking, could you see the Eagles moving up in the draft to get a wide receiver like Ruggs? I think that is extremely, extremely probable at this point. I'd be very, very surprised if the Eagles are going to sit there at where they're drafting and not do, they have really given no offensive weapons to Carson Wentz. And we've discussed this at length, that it's his team. You're going to have to give him some weapons. And this is a very, very deep wide receiver class. Do I see them trying to trade up? I would think probably. But then again, at the same time, you know how Howie Roseman is. He could easily try to outthink this whole thing and drop back out of the first round.
Yeah, sometimes Howie Roseman's brain gets involved, like mine. You have a brain fart, and all of a sudden it costs you. I don't know what they do, though. I mean, look, they address safety. They address corner over the past couple weeks. They picked up some good depth players there. Will Parks, one of them, Philly guy coming back, and then they got who's the guy they got from the Rams? Roby Coleman or something like that.
Yeah. So best known for changing the National Football League's rule as it relates to pass interference, as he was the player that took out Michael Thomas, I believe it was, in that NFC Championship game.
That was him. Okay.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Look, I like what they did defensively. I like the moves on the line. You're going to
no linebacker though.
The Eagles don't believe in a linebacker. I mean, I don't know what to say to that anymore. I don't know. Do linebackers exist? Adam was chiming in about the Eagles trading up for a receiver. It's like, do they even know? Do they even know that linebackers are there? Are
the tight end position even exist anymore? They're just wide receivers now.
So, it's one of those things. They don't have a linebacker. I don't know. Nickel
I still
Roby.
think they go O-line. I just think they go O-line in the draft.
I don't think so. I think you got to go.
You need a center.
You do need a center, but you in the second round. Nickel Roby Coleman, NRC, as he is nicknamed, is nice pickup. It's
hopefully he doesn't play like DRC.
Let's hope he doesn't play like DRC. And if he can get away with penalties like he did, like that pass interference, that's okay too. I have no problem with that.
Do you think, because he was, all right, so now that, and of course the referees know who he is, do you think he puts an X on his back his whole NFL career now that watch this guy because he's probably going to do a pass interference?
I don't think it matters anymore. I think referees have no idea what they're looking at, and they're just going to throw the flag randomly. I don't care if that's breaking some kind of code there. That's what's happening.
Trade up next year and get Micah
Parsons. I'm not even looking past this year yet.
We got to hope there's a season this year right now. They could have 2 draft years in one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Look, there's going to be a season. However, there has been some talk of pushing things back, and Roger Goodell came out today stating that the NFL draft would start on time, that there would be no changes. Do you agree or disagree with that move right there?
Well, it's a fluid situation. It's on until it's not. Look, NHL and NBA games are still considered postponed.
Right.
They're not exactly canceled yet.
The draft has moved on. It is not going to be in Vegas. It is going to be a throwback to 1986, where it's in a hotel room and guys are sitting in the war rooms, bunkers of Veterans Stadium, Giant Stadium, and RFK calling in. It's actually going to be real interesting television.
What do you think? What do you think about the whole idea of doing one round a night since there's no sports on whatsoever?
I did see that. And if the NFL were smart, they would turn around and do just that. Turn it into a 5-night affair, Monday through Friday. Do all the rounds. So what is it? 6, 7 rounds. You could do a whole week.
So Jim Misterman checking in on YouTube says that he wants Burrows. Let me preface the fact that I know Jim Misterman. He's a Bengals fan. That's why he wants Burrows. I thought you were getting Tom Brady in free agency, bro. I'm sorry. I threw it out there for you.
So we can talk about that. We'll talk about that in a second. But, I'm going to give you some important stuff. Why don't you tell the people where they can find us? We're scrolling on the bottom and the thing that they got to do.
Right. So, just like Jim, just like Adam, just like Lizzie, all chiming in on the Section 247 show feed. And you can find that in the YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook channels. On Facebook, we want you to like it. We want you to share with everybody. But just keep in mind, we can only see your comments if you're in those feeds from the YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch channels of the Section 247 show.
Very good. Thank you. I'm starting to give you more responsibilities, and that's good. Follow us on Twitter at SEC247 Show. We are Sports Talk Philly partner, sportstalkphilly.com, and follow those guys on Twitter at Sports Talk PHL. Awesome content over there. Lots of good guys. The Philly Pod is a part of that. Ryan Rothstein has a bunch of stuff going. There's Phillies podcast galore, hockey podcast. You want good stuff? You kind of know where to find it.
Glad Ryan's feeling better, man. He was sick for a little while.
Yeah, I got a little bit scared there with Ryan when he was putting stuff out there on Facebook. Ryan from 97.3 ESPN, a friend of the show, frequent guest. It was concerning there early on, but he's doing good. He's got a new podcast out as well, which everyone should take a listen to. And if you're watching this and you're up in the New York area, the Sports Report, right? The New York Sports Report.
Tommy Bryce, baby.
Tommy Bryce, check him out. Hardest working man in New York sports.
New York's #1 sports podcast.
We know Philadelphia people don't like New York, and that's okay. But we like Tommy, and
Tommy's a good guy,
and he shares awesome pictures of food on the net. So that's good.
Also, some great guests, man. Had MLB or Jeff Fry not too long ago, and he's going to be a reoccurring guest. So he's got some great guests on there. He's talking Syndergaard. There was Syndergaard went down for the Tommy John surgery. So, he's talking about that on this week's show. They drop every Thursday, I think.
And we're going to talk baseball. I got the Phillies hat going. It should be opening day today, and it's not.
Oh, did you see the lineup today? What it should.
I don't want to talk. I don't. Yeah, we
go ahead. What was it? Phillies at 1 or 1:30. The Flyers at 7. The
Yeah,
Sixers were at 8.
Philly's at 4 in
Phillies
Miami,
at 4.
which is a loss. The Flyers at their normal time, so 7:30.
Against the Red Wings, and the
Right.
Sixers played at 8.
And the Sixers at 8. So
what a day that would have been.
Would have been a great day. And then
beautiful 60-degree day outside today in
if
the
you're
Jersey,
like me,
Philly area.
If you're like me, I take off on opening day to watch the game starting at noon. So that's a great day of sports. Let's talk Twitter polls. We put a Twitter and Facebook poll out there. Lots of love on Facebook. Search us at SEC247 Show.
Before you do that, Will asked if you saw his video.
Mike, did you? No, yes, Will, I did see your video, and you're going to have to send me that video, and we will share it on our page. Will doing a great job with opening day today, and his instrument, violin. I hope it's a violin. I forget because if it's not, you're going to kick my ass. And but let's get to it. We did a Twitter poll. We did a Facebook poll. The greatest Eagles helmet of all time. And the graphic, I couldn't get the graphic up. It sucks, but white helmet, green wings, old school Kelly green, just silver, the 90s look with the silver wing, white outline, and obviously the midnight green. What do you think won that?
Oh, I think C won it hands down, the 90s one.
You'd be surprised, and you are wrong.
Really? Because I saw a lot of C's.
There was a lot of C. But a lot of D as well, and
a lot of D.
Yeah, Philadelphia fans like the D, and D because it was when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I agree with it. People are saying, "Why are you guys rambling on about helmet choices?" New rule is probably going to, go away. The NFL instituted about 10 years ago a one shell rule. As of 2021, that rule is probably going to go away, and the return of the throwbacks are coming, Michael.
Well, yeah, it should. I mean, look at how much money they could probably make off the mini helmet deals.
Oh, well, they sell them anyway. They sell them anyway, but which throwback outside of the Eagles? Because I'm sure you're like me. You want to see the Kelly green, and you want to see, the Randall era, the gangrene. Mm-hmm. What throwbacks would you want to see outside of the Philadelphia Eagles?
Let's see. That's a tough one. Who are you? Let me get some ideas from you first.
So
here's one.
The which one?
The old Buccaneers.
The old Buccaneers now, and we're going to get to what they did. I want to see the old Oilers uniform make a comeback. I want to. I don't know who that. I see. Well, that's the question. So who does it?
It's like the Winnipeg Jets debate or the Hartford Whalers debate. Do you let Carolina do it?
No, because you got to remember the Tennessee Oilers existed for at least 2 seasons.
Right, they did. So Tennessee could definitely. So
Tennessee, Tennessee gets it. James chiming in on the YouTube. Old Pats, absolutely. That's one. Yeah, that's one that I would love. I would love to see. I'd like to see the Vikings go back to their purple people eater era. They could do that now, but that's definitely one.
The Dolphins kind of brought back their old logo.
Yeah, they can do that from time to time. They should just bring that
kind of brought back their old logo.
Right. Yeah, the Bucks and the creamsicle.
Yeah, the creamsicle. Yeah, the old Oilers. I mean, after that, everybody's kind of brought theirs back. The Seattle Seahawks can go back to the silver helmet.
Yes, the Seahawks are another one to go back to the silver and the blue
uniform. Both took a drink at the same time.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Lizzie, we already wish Zach a happy birthday like 3 times. Happy birthday! Play us a song on your ukulele, please.
Greg chimes in. Kelly green uniforms are fire. Absolutely. I mean, look, that's what everyone wants to see when the Eagles come back.
There's got to be some more. There's got to be more we're not thinking about.
The
Denver Broncos. Do they wear their? They don't wear their.
There's a great one because the helmet with the Denver
Bronco running through it.
It is now a throwback. Hi, Dad. Love Holden. Hey, Holds, go to sleep. Thanks for chiming in.
Thanks for playing.
Holden. Holds. What uniform would you like to see? Denver's definitely a good one. Absolutely.
I'm trying to think. I would like to see Houston Oilers, though. I would like to see the Buccaneers. And after that, everybody's kind of done their own spin.
Everyone's kind of done their thing. So let's talk uniforms. Did you see that the Rams debuted a new logo?
I did.
What do you think of the Rams logo? We like talking sports here. We're uni watchers. We get
Got
it.
a big dick in the nose.
Oh, come on. Does not.
It does.
It
Dude.
does not.
It does. It does. I mean, as far as the LA one, there's the standard one. It's going to be the regular one. I mean, I get it. New stadium, new city, trying to break away from St. Louis any way they can. And the first time they're in Los Angeles, I get it. Whatever.
I want to see what the uniform ends up looking like. I mean, it's obviously going to be the toilet bowl Rams. I like the royal blue and the yellow. I tell you what, the Chargers.
But it was stupid with the helmet when they wouldn't. I mean, that's the whole rule.
Right.
This stupid. They had to wear the white rammed helmet with that uniform. It's ridiculous.
The Chargers have won the day with their new uniforms. They're going to go back to more of a powder blue and refined logo. I really hope they go with a true throwback.
Yeah, because they shortened the bolt on the shoulders, and they made it a little more futuristic. They updated the lettering and stuff. They need to go back. I actually have a Drew Brees powder blue Chargers jersey in my closet.
So
that I found along with this shirt this weekend.
Show everyone else what you found too.
I also found, just anybody that wasn't here at the top of the show, Nick and Jessica DVDs when my wife and I watched them, and we enjoyed them.
So let's move on.
The last couple episodes were rough, though.
Okay, moving on. Let's move on to NFL free agency. Tom Brady signs with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's some of us that are on here, Zach being one of them, who has been preaching it for months. Were you surprised that's where he ended up?
Absolutely. I thought he was going to the Chargers. If he wasn't going back to the Patriots, I thought he was going to the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he was going to go to the Chargers too. Look, he has all the weapons down there to win. He's got a great coach in Bruce Arians. It's going to be goddamn interesting to see what happens down there, because now you're talking total opposites. Bruce Arians is a gregarious guy. He's a little cocky. He's not Bill Belichick. He'll tell you how he feels. I'm interested in seeing what happens there.
So what do you think about the whole, because since there was no sports on this weekend, ESPN did a Tom Brady marathon, basically covering the Patriots Tom Brady breakup. Did you catch any of it?
No, I didn't.
I caught about 5 seconds of it.
I've tried not to watch TV.
I mean, they totally have made Brady and Belichick hate each other. That's the way it seems to me. It seems like Bob Kraft didn't want to get involved. It was Bill Belichick's decision, and he decided to move on.
You gotta have a narrative there, right, on ESPN, because they don't do anything else. Can't cover anything else. Greg is chiming in here. Now this is interesting, because I was going to be our next point. He says his call, Cam to the Pats, and I'm going to pop it up here, but I was going to say Cam Newton, a Charger.
Yeah, the Chargers need somebody, don't they?
So that's interesting. Now,
I mean, I think you're playing quarterback for them technically right now.
Listen, I just hand the ball off. Well, not anymore. Melvin Gordon's gone.
Melvin Gordon's gone too.
The league moving. That's interesting. Do you think Cam Newton would be a fit for Bill Belichick?
I think any player is a fit for Bill Belichick as long as you do what he says. And if you do what he says, you will be successful. I mean, that's why the players that don't work out there, that go to the Patriots, that had maybe a troubled past with another team, if they're either shining stars or they don't work out, or they're in jail or dead.
Yeah, that's true. So interesting. I guess I could see him in New England. That it wouldn't be a complete and total shock. It seems like Will is dropping breaking news here. Roman Reigns is out of WrestleMania.
Why?
Well, I don't know. Well, let's go to
WrestleMania is canceled.
Oh God, I wish. I'm going to go to the interwebs here. I think he's just messing with me. I don't know.
While you're doing that, I'll talk a little more Tom Brady, because I kind of really am surprised he didn't go back to the Patriots. I thought this was all going to be just one thing, just to get him back to the Patriots, and he wind up going there. But it was classy. He went to Robert Kraft's house on Monday night and basically broke up with him, just like anybody else would break up in a relationship. He says, I'm going to go to free agency. Bill Belichick said he doesn't want me back. And until he went to Tampa Bay, he might turn that franchise back around with him arriving there, because now players want to go there and play with him. Giggity. And let's face it, that fan base has suffered for over the past years. They have Mike Evans, who's a great wide receiver. They have a great tight end. This could be a playoff team come next season because they have one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game.
And sneaky defense. And yeah, Greg Davis chimes back in. Chargers got rid of Rivers because he had too many interceptions. That would negate Cam Newton a little bit, and they do like to chuck the ball around over there. It's going to be interesting to see the direction they go. I mean, Phillip Rivers, there's another one that ends up in Indianapolis. I don't know that I saw that one coming either. I mean, I actually thought that was going to be a Tom Brady landing spot.
So, all right. So, no, Nicole, we can't see your top fan badge. Yeah, Chargers got rid of Rivers because of interceptions. Yeah, he likes to sling the ball. But I think if you let Cam Newton do what he can do, which is improvise, run around the field, and try to make plays, I don't think you would see the interceptions. Ron Rivera tried to make him a pocket passer over the past couple seasons, and I think that's why he, A, got hurt a lot, and B, wasn't successful. And maybe he just needed to change the scenery.
Yeah, you never know. Any other NFL free agency surprises get you?
No, actually, no. You know, part of me thinks that Andrew Luck might come out of retirement and go to the Patriots.
Oh man, now that is an interesting theory there.
I mean, it's a very long shot, but it makes sense, right? You know.
Yeah, I would say so. Can he, though? I don't know that he can. Can he?
I don't know. Probably the Colts might own his rights.
I'm sure the Colts own his right, but that's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see the direction the Patriots go. I mean,
so he's refusing to travel because of COVID.
Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna get.
Haven't they?
Well,
all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to it. We're gonna talk wrestling after this. After NFL
just knows it's gonna be a shitty match.
That's true. Nobody's gonna see it literally. Yeah. So
I mean, Greg, it makes sense. I mean, it's a long shot, but it makes sense. I think
it's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought. It definitely makes you say, I don't know that.
But let's look at it this way. Who right now, do you think Brian Hoyer could be the Patriots starting quarterback on opening week, on week 1? Or are they going to go with the other kid? What, Stidham?
I don't know, man. Bill Belichick, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. I actually thought that a perfect guy to go up there, and we've discussed it in the past, I kind of poo-pooed it, would have been Nick Foles, who ends up in Chicago. You know, he's a guy
has to play the Buccaneers this year.
Is a guy like Mitch Trubisky going to leave? Is he a guy for the Patriots? I don't know.
I mean, I really think that Bill Belichick thinks that he can turn anybody into a Super Bowl quarterback.
Oh, and at this point,
he took 7-round Tommy.
At this point, I mean, he's kind of proven that he can.
Yeah, he can. I mean, Will says Brady will be in Tampa that Montana was to KC. Hey, look, they got to an AFC Championship game. Has Tampa even sniffed that since like 2002? No.
Look, they got one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League with a ton of weapons.
At 42 years old, and you could still say he's the best quarterback in the football.
One of them.
It's just ridiculous.
But he is. I mean, he's clearly dropped off. But you're giving him a lot of weapons, a ton of weapons, and that's really kind of what the dude needs to be successful. And again, I love Bruce Arians as a coach. I think he's a tremendous coach, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Who's their running back again? And I'm sorry for not knowing this, everybody out there, but I'm on my break right now.
I'm blanking on his name too. I was just talking about him the other day too. Young kid.
Anybody knows that, please chime in and tell us, because I'm just blanking. With no sports, my brain has gone to mush.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep myself occupied during this thing with no sports. And
how can you not?
You know, Paul Bowman, Sports Talk Philly, is starting to really pump out some of the draft stuff. So be sure to go check that out, sportstalkphilly.com. And we're going to get to that. You know, we're going to move on though here. Greg chimes in that they will draft one. Luck to New England after Brady. A lot of pressure. It is true. It's just like taking over for Manning.
Right. It's pretty much. But, Luck was successful. Luck was successful. It's a very long shot. It's just something I wanted to throw out there that I think it would be a good fit. You got Edelman. That's probably one of the better receivers that Luck ever had after Marvin Harrison left. So why not? Who knows? Stay tuned.
So we do like to have a little bit of fun here. So we're going to go back to it. I just said I didn't want to talk about it, but we have to. How are you handling your coronavirus pandemic? You're doing all right over there? Yourself?
Yeah, doing fine. I mean, doing better than most people. Unfortunately, people are going to get laid off from work and stuff like that. But I mean, I have a 1-year-old, man. I mean, from 8 a.m. till 8 a.m., it is nonstop. And oh yeah, there's a job in there somewhere. And by the way, I'm up at 5 a.m. just so I can get stuff done before he wakes up, so I have the time, to have breakfast with him and stuff like that. But and on the weekends, it's just reorganizing because there's no sports on. My wife said, "How do you feel? How's it been for you with no sports?" I go, feel like I'm dying inside because hockey would be picking up right now.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, my lawn has already been cut twice.
I got to get my lawnmower fixed.
My garage is cleaner than clean. My basement will probably get done this weekend because it's going to rain. So,
no, is it really? Jesus.
It's going to rain both Saturday and Sunday. So, hey, look, my basement is a wreck right now. So that's going to get reorganized. And after that's reorganized, man, I don't know what else to reorganize because I've straightened everything else up. My wife has straightened everything up. This is the cleanest the house has been.
You can organize your Nick and Jessica DVDs.
They already actually are. So like you have the complete first season, followed by seasons 2 and 3, and then the final season of Nick and Jessica.
I didn't realize there were 4 seasons of that.
I know, I didn't either. And by the last 2 discs, because the final season is 2 discs, it was a little bit of an agony.
I've taken to the homeschooling very well.
How's that? So how's that been?
It's actually going really, really well. My kids' school has a great setup to where they're in there from 8 until 11 online. It's a Zoom conference. They get to see their friends, which I think is fantastic. The teachers are still teaching it. And then you have enough work to kind of take you for another hour and a half. And then all the chaos ensues.
So have you been out? Have you gone food shopping? Have you gone anywhere?
Only to go food shopping, measure a few kitchens here and there, that kind of thing. Central personnel, that kind of stuff.
So I went to Target yesterday morning. I don't know if you've seen this, that when you go out now, Target and supermarkets have X's where you have to stand because it's the 6 feet apart rule.
You should, because people are a bunch of jackasses and don't know what to do. And quite frankly, stay 6 feet away from me for the rest of the time too. Once this is all done.
We also had a social distancing photo shoot today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Well, great. So the photographer comes, gets out of the car, stays far away from you and says, "Stand there." We have our photo shoot, lasted 5 minutes. And 4.5 of that is trying to get Nico to look at the camera. And after that, she's like, "All right, I'll send you the prints," and then takes off in the car.
Okay.
Yeah. Social distancing photo shoot.
Social distancing at its finest. Let's move on here. Let's talk a little bit of pro wrestling.
Wait.
Yep, go ahead.
Are you able to work out at all? Like, have you been able to work out or do any sort of exercise?
Push-ups and sit-ups. I can't do squats because I had to push off my knee thing, which was supposed to be coming up because now that everything.
But do you have weights?
I don't need weights. You have free weights. You do the Herschel Walker workout and you just start eating better. I have been eating better. I'll tell you that much.
I officially after last weekend, I got everything out of the house except for like probably 1 or 2 things. But like I have 2 20-pound dumbbells. That's what I've been working out with. Mm-hmm. But I put my skates on. I put Nico in the stroller and I go around the neighborhood.
I take the dog for a walk. I go out with the kids. We walk around. There's multiple walks involved. Walking around apartment complexes, measuring cabinets, that kind of thing.
I'm just glad I didn't gain 20 pounds yet.
There's people that are eating themselves out of house and home. I'm not one of them. I'm trying to avoid that kind of thing.
Squats, push-ups, planks, do it.
Exactly. I agree with
squats.
I agree. 6 inches while we're at it. The memories of midget football.
Zach Spears came home with 3 packs of Oreos the other day. Yes, so did my wife. I haven't had one of them.
My wife did. My wife did too. She came out with the EL fudges. You know, like the little fudge. They're good.
Where the commercial was they painted the back.
Yeah, they're good. And I had 200.
That's amazing what those guys can do in a little tree.
It is, and you know they move around pretty quick, and they make it. They're good bakers.
But I mean, hey, look, this is going to go on for a while.
I think we're going to be sitting in this for the next 60 days, whether we like it or not. And it all depends who you listen to. We should be prepared for it. Listen, sports is going to get ready to come back. The National Basketball Association has already been talking about a comeback of sorts at the beginning of June, whether that's empty arenas or not. So they're already planning for that. Yeah, sports will be back soon enough. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out over the summer months.
Yeah. So I read an article today about the hockey season, how they haven't canceled yet, and they should be. But the owners tend to lose $100 million in revenue that's shared. So that's why they're trying to exhaust every ounce they can. And the players don't want to do it, but in hockey, you have escrow in their contract that they take from them as sort of like almost like a safety net in case revenue share isn't there. And if they lose on $100 million, their escrow portion of their check will be increased next year. So everybody's trying to exercise every ounce they can to try to get a season in. Sidney Crosby came out. I mean, much of a dirtbag he is on the ice. He is a pretty good businessman. He said, hey, look, just fast forward to the playoffs this way. Everyone's going to get their money. The players won't be, harmed in any way financially. People can get back to work in arenas, and everybody could try to do the best they can to rebuild everything.
Yeah, look, if you can get back there and you can do it safe, let's do it. We're not going to get political about this and what we should and shouldn't do. I hope sports is back before long.
Safety is the biggest thing, man. I mean,
absolutely. Look, people are dying. I mean, it's reality. Yeah. So, stay away from me about that.
Mm-hmm. And Nicole, those brownies were one of the best brownies that I've ever had. So they were definitely good.
Let's move on. Will broke the news here. Roman Reigns out of WrestleMania. And good for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns battled leukemia. I guess he's still battling leukemia. He's in remission. His immune system is compromised. He shouldn't be going to the Performance Center in Orlando for WrestleMania. Good for him. That's why he's out. His health is important.
Well, the first show that WWE had with no audience at the Performance Center, he was asked, should he be wrestling? And he said that he would do it until, he didn't feel it was safe. And it's not. But really and truly, did you want to wrestle Goldberg anyway?
In an empty building. They should just bag the whole goddamn thing, push it back. They won't do it. They're going to force feed it down people's throats, and it's going to be one of the most bizarre things of all time.
Honestly, I really think they should flip the script and do it like all like the NXT or any, because they do the call-ups the next day, right? It's like the
new year of wrestling is going to suck. It's not going to exist. It's awful.
No, because your SummerSlam is supposed to be like the first chapter of of that season. That's going to be different now. I mean, why not just totally flip the script and make WrestleMania a totally different kind of pay-per-view? You have the opportunity to. You're at your Performance Center. There's no audience. You could do anything you want. Why don't you just be totally different for once than, the regular old, once Royal Rumble comes, that's WrestleMania season. Let's mix it up a little bit. Look, NXT, their takeover that was going to happen during WrestleMania, they're now filtering it into the Wednesday shows.
Right.
So do something different.
I would love to see them. Phil, how are we, Phil? Phil might bounce out because I don't think Phil likes professional wrestling. Phil, we're talking wrestling. Nice to see you. See you later.
No, stick around, man.
Yeah, please. Because Phil, if you watch WCW back in the day, we want to talk to you.
And Jessica back in the day,
right? You have no idea what you're missing. Look, Will chimes in here. It may actually be one of the most watched WrestleManias considering nothing else is on. Yeah, it's true. And I actually like the 2-night system of it. That's kind of neat. It's something New Japan Pro Wrestling did with their last Wrestle Kingdom. A little bit of news there and notes for you people that don't know that. They broke it down into 2 nights. It's kind of cool. I would like to see how that goes. Will looks at wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I see.
Yeah, you're right.
Look,
I
wish
they were like the end of the first chapter of the new wrestling year,
I wish they would just push it back into the summertime, and it is what it is. It deserves to be in front of a live crowd. There's a whole element to it that it's just not going to work.
Or just nix both SummerSlam and WrestleMania and have Fall Brawl.
Fall Brawl, like World Championship Wrestling Fall Brawl. WCW memories of WCW. Michael, were you a WCW guy?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how much of a WCW guy were you? Were you were you an NWO dude or what?
I came in 90. I started watching WCW in 94.
Okay. With Hogan, the arrival of Hulkamania.
Yes. When Hogan went over, that's when I started watching it.
So I was always
a big Disco Inferno fan.
Oh my, you would be a Disco Inferno fan. Yeah, that's about right. So I was always a WCW guy. I enjoyed all wrestling. It was always a little bit different. I was a big Sting fan back in the day. Wrestling changed 19 years ago on Monday night. It was the last ever Nitro. WCW died. What are some of your memories of WCW? We asked the people.
What, you want mine or do you want to read the people's?
You want me to read the people's first?
Hey, go ahead.
Let's go. Let's go with Jersey Mike. Mike Sexton. He has got a couple here, and he has some good ones. Mike Sexton, the What If podcast. Follow him on Twitter at what_if_podcast. He's going to be happy. Rutgers has the number 12 class in the country right now recruiting. One of the ones he threw out there was the Shockmaster. How could we forget the Shockmaster debut? Do you remember the Shockmaster?
Yeah. Stormtrooper
helmet, tripping over the fake wall, coming flat on his face. He was the former Typhoon. Yeah, really, really, really bad. It was really awful.
I think when you have a guy that big, like Typhoon was very recognizable. You knew who Typhoon was. That's why you had to put a glittery mask on him.
That's true. Marking Out podcast, who they're cool dudes. They chime in here with 3 Count versus the Jung Dragons. I can't tell if they're trolling us on that one or not, but they were actually some decent matches. WCW late, 2000, late 99. Work in progress when the Yeti and the Giant humped Hulk Hogan at Halloween Havoc. Yeah, that's one that Eric Bischoff talks about all the time. That was the debut of the Giant, formerly, now Paul White, the Big Show. Will's going to chime in here. Going to Nitro in '96 with his brother and grandmother, dropped him off at the show. Faces of Fear versus Harlem Heat, and the NWO interfered. Buff Bagwell going to the NWO. That's memorable right there with Buff Bagwell joining the NWO. The NWO was obviously a very, very popular one that we got from a lot of different people.
Had the shirt on last week? You
did have the shirt on last week. Dre chimes in. Some of his favorites were the Steiners when they beat the Midnight Express. The thing there is that's probably Dre is a wrestling savant as well. That might actually be NWA. So that might predate the actual WCW name. Still a great one. He also chimed in with a very lost feud of Eddie Guerrero and the Horsemen. Do you remember that at all?
Yeah, I do. So Eddie Guerrero is one of the guys that when he went to WWE, I was so ecstatic because he was one of the guys I did watch on WCW. So, yeah, I do remember that one. That was a good one.
Mike Manaraki, friend of the show, chimes in all of the Crow Sting stuff, which was absolutely outstanding. Mm-hmm. One of my choices was WCW Sting 1997. That whole build really from fall of 96 through Starrcade 97. The ending sucked, but it was just unbelievable. What are a couple of
I think one of my favorite things was with Sting, they would just show him in a rafter with a spotlight on. That's all he had to do. That's a great job to have.
It is a great job to have.
Probably the night that, when Savage was kicked out of the WWO the night before, came down the beginning of the show, said he was blackballed, and Sting came down and made him come with him.
I think you're thinking of Lex Luger.
No, it was Macho Man. He came down, he sat in the ring, he goes, I was blackballed.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And Sting comes down, hits him with the bat on the chair, and then threw the bat at him and let him take a swipe. Didn't take a swipe, so he went with Savage.
Will chimes in, can't discount Luger beating Hogan on Nitro for the title. You know, that's an interesting one because I was never a Lex Luger fan as a champion, and having him there, it just never did it for me.
I also liked another one of mine was when Piper and Hogan, the build up for that, and the one when Piper came out with all what was it, all the refs that were all the people that were lined up, and the bagpipes and his music hit. Always loved his walkout music.
Friend of the show, Ben Nuke the Bridge, chimes in. He liked when Nash and the other bookers had ruined the entire company and programming was so terrible, WWE brought it and didn't have anything to do with it anymore. That was nice. Yeah, it's definitely a good one, Ben. We appreciate that. But he does chime in.
When the inmates began to run the asylum.
He chimes in when Ron Simmons won the World Championship in Baltimore. Baltimore was always a huge WCW town. It was always entertaining.
When they blew the fact that Mick Foley was going to win the WWF Championship because Raw was taped at the time.
Yeah, that was like one of the beginnings of the end there.
Yeah.
Will chimes in the 20 Stings that came to the ring at any given moment. And yeah, Buff hit the real Sting. I do like that. The Sting stuff was just tremendous. The Sting stuff was awesome. A couple other things that stand out to me was there was a Bret Hart Sting match on Nitro when Bret Hart first got in there, and it was a main event, and it was a thing of beauty. And I'm not a Bret Hart guy, but it was a thing of beauty.
You know, why aren't you? Because I always been meaning to ask you this. Why aren't you a Bret Hart guy?
I'm a real American, brother.
Oh, because he's a Canadian?
Simple as that, dude.
But I never really cared for Bret Hart's, in ring.
He wasn't charismatic enough for me. Watching it at that time, it was about.
I liked how he involved the kids and stuff like that when he walked out, and how he would charge the crowd up. But the technical moves were always great, of course, but just his promos did nothing for me.
I agree with you. I was never a huge Bret Hart guy when it came to that. One of my favorite things was the Jericho conspiracy theory. Chris Jericho's run with Ralphus and the Jericho personal security, where everything was a conspiracy and it was just highly entertaining television. And the dude just wanted to get himself on TV, and look what he's become. He's Le Champion. He is one of the greatest performers of all time.
Well, how about Ralphus actually thought that he was actually Jericho's security in real life?
Exactly. That's awesome. Ooh, interesting. Will chimes in. Bret was the best of a down era in wrestling. And we can debate that for another day, Will, but I would argue Shawn Michaels might be the best of that era.
Oh, yeah, Shawn Michaels is. Yeah. Shawn Michaels made me watch wrestling more, just about how charismatic he was in the ring and what he did getting into the ring.
So there's some of the good memories of WCW. Nitro. I mean, Nitro was always fun. We were lucky.
At Club La Vila.
Yeah, we were in high school. We got to watch all the fun stuff and talk to people. I mean, literally, you talked about it in high school the next day. Did you watch Nitro? Did you watch Raw? It was fun. What are some of the bad that you remember?
Some of the bad. Well, Disco Inferno.
Yes, all the time.
Diamond Dallas Page.
You're not a DDP guy? Great yoga.
I again like the electricity that he brought, but I always remember the WCW matches being very short and not very wrestling oriented. It was more about the crowd.
Brian with the woo. I'll bring it back up. Yeah. Any Ric Flair was fantastic.
Especially in WCW.
Yeah.
Because that's when he was starting to get old.
Black Scorpion was a shit angle. You remember the Black Scorpion?
No.
The Black Scorpion was the anti-Sting of the Four Horsemen. I think it turned out to be Flair. It was actually Ole Anderson that was dressed as a guy in all black, and it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't very good. I will
say I became a fan of Rey Mysterio.
Absolutely.
WCW.
Absolutely. You didn't like DDP though, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how about the Rodman NWO, like that was awful.
I mean, Jay Leno and Hog Wild, or Road Wild, I guess it was at that point. Yeah, Carl Malone and DDP versus Hogan. Yeah, it was just not good. It wasn't good.
It was awful.
Judy Bagwell on a pole match. You remember that one?
Yes, I do.
I'm trying to think.
Let's think about this. That total, run that they had, how much actual wrestling took place in that big run, that the Monday Night Wars itself? It wasn't wrestling at all. It was all, promoting.
Oh, sure.
It's all it was. There was no wrestling. The wrestling matches were 2 seconds long.
Will chimes in the Kiss concert on Nitro.
I remember that.
I remember that. That was bad too. That was a bad business deal on their part. Eric Bischoff talks about that on his podcast.
Yeah, I heard that one.
He doesn't need me to promote it. He's got enough listeners, but it was an interesting story nonetheless. The whole hardcore division in like 99, 2000, that was bad. That was awful. There was a point where, oh Jesus, I'm blanking on his name now. The Ultimate Fighter guy, Tank Abbott, pulled a knife during a pay-per-view match and threatened to kill somebody. That was horrible. Brian, it was corny. Like they just couldn't figure it out. And it's a shame because when you really look at them where they were the best. Oh my God, yeah, this is a great one. ICP. So it's funny. I just saw something on wrestling Twitter here that ICP, AEW will not be legit until ICP shows up, because they have been in every other promotion. Apparently they've been in Impact. All right, now I'm getting angry. I hope Brian here is saying that he likes Screaming Norman Smiley because the Big Wiggle was where it's at. And you can't beat that. That is highly entertaining television. The Big Wiggle. You remember the Big Wiggle?
Mm-hmm.
Big Wiggle, the Detmer, yeah. Come on, man.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I thought, what was it called? It was called something Squirrel.
Norman Smiley, man, he was fantastic. What else you got? What other memories of WCW? I got one that's just sitting there waiting to be used. No one said it yet.
Go ahead.
The David Arquette.
Oh, Ready. I was going to say Ready to Rumble.
No, the movie's good. I like the movie. The movie's fine, but not when the star of the movie wins the world championship. One of the most historic
he's still
titles in wrestling.
Man, so
Oh, it's great. Good for him. He's in the Indies now.
Probably making more money.
Well, probably. Fantastic. Will chimes in. Laparca. And not the Laparca that died. He's still alive. This Laparca is alive. And I was never a Laparca fan. I really enjoyed the Luchadors, but Laparca just didn't do it for me.
What does do it for you?
When I lost it was when they brought in Hardcore Hack. You remember that?
Oh yeah, to
the Sandman.
Yeah.
That's when I really got pissed off.
I think still the best promo in that whole organization was when Goldust went there as, what was he, like he was like a Mike Myers ripoff.
Oh yeah,
like, this is stupid. And I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. I forget this. I forget what they were called. 7, I think, like that.
Yeah.
Will chimes in with the Villanos. Yeah, like I don't know the Villano. Look, one of the better memories was the Best of 7 series between Booker T and Chris Benoit. I'm allowed to talk to him, right? About him, right?
Are we allowed to say that name?
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy was a fantastic wrestler. I don't endorse what he did. That's awful. What is a stone cold moron? But his matches with Booker T were things of beauty.
Yeah, he was an extremely talented wrestler. Had, great wrestling skills. Unfortunate what he did. But
have you watched The Dark Side of the Ring on Chris Benoit yet? I've had a lot of people asking me. I haven't checked it out yet.
I watched a little bit of it, and I kind of just was like, I don't think I should be watching this.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out yet.
Roman dropping out of Mania. Yeah, we talked on it a little bit. Good for him. I mean, I for his own safety, that's a good move, and not wrestling Goldberg, that's another good move.
Yeah,
so,
look,
well played on both parts, Roman.
It's the health of the competitor there, and
it is. Hey, look, all kidding aside, and I didn't mean to make a joke like that, but you got it safety first right now, and You can't be close to people. I don't think you should be doing anything. I mean, they're one of the few organizations that are still doing stuff live. They're just like the news right now. They're still on the air.
AEW is still on the air.
Yeah.
You should join the Dark Order.
Is Luke Harper on there now?
He's the exalted one. He's in charge of the Dark Order.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, look, it was very entertaining, and apparently Chris Jericho cut a promo on a drone because Broken Matt Hardy is in AEW now, and that was classic TV. I haven't seen it yet, and the drone didn't respond, so there was a follow-up on Chris Jericho's Twitter today of him cutting a promo on a Roomba.
You know, not for nothing, Chris Jericho is a trailblazer in wrestling. Getting a little tired of him.
Yeah, because you're an idiot. Will chimes in. Booker T and Rick Martel had a great series of matches. I have to go back and check that out over the TV title. I love the TV title. It's fantastic stuff. There's always great matches.
I love when Jericho bags on the cruiserweight title.
Look, everything Jericho did was fantastic. You know what else?
I mean, it was, man. He's reinvented himself like 20 times, and he's 50.
Yeah. Anything else? You got anything else there?
No, I'm good.
I got nothing. I got nothing much left here. Will's chiming on the dark side of the ring. I think I'm going to check it out. We're going to talk about it next week. On that note, though, Michael, I think we're going to put a bow on this thing and wrap it up.
Sounds good. I got to go back to watching Tiger King.
Yeah, you go back to watching that thing. Where can people find us? Do the deal.
You can find us on Twitter at Section 247 Show, and Facebook is Section 247 Show, right?
Everywhere on social, you can find us. So you just search at SEC 247 Show, and it'll bring you there. Twitter.
Where are you at?
I'm at doc_SEC 247 Show. You probably won't see me doing too much stuff on social media between the hours of 8 and 5 on a regular basis. But after that, it's all fair game.
I'm on Michael Watkins 7 on Twitter. Hit me up. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Leave a message after the beep. Beep. I'm done.